Cool. You can tell Grote hasn't been here in a while.
Yeah.
He gets so creative.
Look how tall he is. That's why they used to call him the Slender Man in high school.
Oh my goodness.
He is Grote. What is he doing?
He's drawing.
Oh, he's trying to be all fancy.
We haven't had Mr. Grote here in good God, probably a year, right?
Episode 1 and 2, I think.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Grote is one of our Toy Posse definitive Star Wars collectors.
Yep.
I would.
Well,
I challenge you on a few things.
one thing I'll say about Jason Grote,
Even though you scare me.
he gets the Lifetime Achievement Award for tabling at every single swap.
Yeah.
And no other Posse member except for me
Yeah.
has tabled at every single
I
swap.
thought Grayson did.
No, he said I was talking to him. He said
There's
to be
one, I think.
honest,
He missed
said,
one,
I
I
missed
think.
one.
Yeah.
Oh.
You've
Yeah.
gotten every one of them, huh?
Every single one, Jason Grote
Well,
has
and see,
tabled.
some
since
of
the
them,
beginning.
some of them too. I'm like, I kind of want to maybe just go to one and just shop, and then I'm like, nope, can't break my record.
I remember the very first, like he's like the Cal Ripken Jr. of the Posse. But
Kinda.
also, the very first swap, they were foaming at the mouth for this guy named Jason Grote to show up.
Oh, because I showed up
And
late.
he showed up late, and he showed up with all this 3A stuff, and everyone swarmed him. Like, you would have thought like a celebrity came. Everyone just like just vulturing around.
This
like
guy
this, like waiting.
shows up, no table. I throw a blanket out from the back seat of my car, and he throws all his toys on a blanket.
And he already he sells like 5 things in like a minute.
But I mean,
That's
people
cool.
that back in the day, those swaps, it was like vultures. People that came
Yeah.
up
It
late.
was.
People were catching
Yeah, I
you on
would
the
go like
street.
this. I would just like I'd swarm around like this, flapping
Yeah.
my wings.
What we're trying to say is that you're kind of our hero. And
Hell, I've
only
been,
because I'm not pushing you close to me just because not only do I like you, but I want to see more of you. There we go. Sorry.
I've been
Hands
collecting-
up, people,
I've
hands
been
up.
No, he's my
seriously
Grote.
collecting
He's my
for
Grote.
quite a while, and I collect a lot of stuff that not necessarily the rest of the posse does. So it's kind of, I've learned a lot from the posse about those toys, and sometimes I try to bring some of my passions and collecting love to
What
you
I found
guys.
interesting, I'd like to just say, yes, I agree with you on that. And I find that you collect things that everybody else does, but find really unique things. Like you collect some unique Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got across the board some pretty. Speaking of, where do we want to start with this, guys?
Well, obviously, let's start with that.
Since
nice
Grote's
collection,
here, we
yeah.
might as well do Grote stuff.
The Star Wars
Should we
stuff.
do? So
Do whatever you want, buddy.
these are the prototype Vaders that were first released at San Diego Comic-Con and
What?
then on
That's so
Target's website. And basically what it is this is how a prototype would be made back in the day.
With all
They would
different
take
colors.
they would take whatever extra plastic they had, no matter what the color, kind of put it together really quick just to show, the reps and stuff, kind of what they're doing.
Okay.
So they released them, but they did all kinds of variants. And so I am now at 9. I don't have any duplicates yet. I've heard there's like 18 or 19, but I find that impossible. I think there's got to be hundreds or thousands. Because even the 2 greens I have, the 2 green heads, it's like a different shade of green. So
That's not a green head. Here's the green head.
So
here.
those two.
Oh yeah.
and just the possible combinations you can come up
Well,
with.
this one's shinier, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one worth more?
Kinda-
Is that why you got into different?
I have no clue. But I've been buying them like mad. I have 8
They
more.
are different.
8 more coming in the mail.
Serial
And
17.
Is there any variance to the cape at all?
No.
Do you think there will be?
No.
Okay.
Not that I've seen. And so, and it tells you kind of the story on the back about the prototypes and stuff. And that's how a lot of times you see prototypes and they're just one color. But they are like a weird color that it's probably cheaper to do that. And so this is kind of fun to go down a rabbit hole in the fact that I've got 9 so far and no duplicates yet.
So the lightsaber is purple on that one. Is it purple on the other ones? They're different colors.
The heads are just crazy.
Oh, they're different
green.
color
Yeah.
lightsabers too.
Oh, and then like these ones.
But then the yellow, they've got different body colors, different leg colors. So, technically they could,
Yeah. I actually thought that was for Pride. That's what when I glanced down that one
okay.
in pre-production, I thought, oh, that's just Pride.
So
Cool.
there's been a lot of people that have hated this and
These
Why?
are
This
awesome.
is-
but I
These
think
are
it's
awesome.
super cool.
this is something that I would collect, and I am a purist, and Grote knows that about me. I have pretty substantial Star Wars, nothing compared to him, but I only collect first gen. That's it. First gen of the first 3.
These are super dope.
Those are really, really cool. Now, what are they?
Hand me those purple ones.
Yeah, absolutely. What are these going for?
So I think they retailed for $7.50 or maybe $10.
Okay.
But the way Target released them, and I don't think they had like a limit on them. I've just been buying them off of eBay, and the people I'm buying them from on eBay are, you can tell, have 50 of them or have sold 100 of them. So I think if you were up at that whenever they dropped, it's pretty easy to get a ton. But so I started buying them at about $35 shipped each. And I kept giving, a lot of them had or best offers, so I kept giving lower offers. But then now, this last batch I bought 7 of them, all at 22 each shipped. So they're dropping down, and it's like, you know, I don't mind giving some guy that's doing this a little money, you know.
I think this is neat. I like this. This is a great idea. Somebody in that
really
company
cool.
at Kenner got a huge bonus.
Yeah, just yeah.
Are you going to keep collecting
Period.
these?
Oh well, it all depends with this next 7.
Will
or
you
8 that I
retire?
have.
Yes.
And if I find out if there's, you know, because if there's 1,000 different variants, because that's easily possible, just doing different colors for each arm, then I'll give up.
The lightsabers,
But
yeah.
if there really is only 18 or 19 of them, I'll probably go for them all.
Man, those are cool.
Gotta catch
Where did you
'em
come
all.
up? Where did you find these? Where'd you see these?
San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
one of their releases.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
okay.
Target bungled it up as usual. They're getting as bad as Walmart with releases.
Yeah.
Is this the only Star Wars that you brought here?
Yes.
Okay, because the only reason why I'm asking is since I've got you here and I have a few things that are Star Wars. That's a surprise. I wanted to get your opinion on. So, B, if you could be so kind as to grab that box right there.
You want me to move this
Yes.
stuff off? Just, yeah, it's fine.
All right, I think these made an appearance on,
This did
on
make
a
an
previous
appearance,
episode.
but
Go
Grote
back
was
and
not
watch.
here. These belong to a friend of mine that he got out of his mom's. That they were his since he was a kid. Hey, what's up, Ben Tittle? And these are all intact. I just want to get your opinion on these and what you think of them and what you think their value is.
I mean, the portfolio, these are pretty common.
Yeah, I've seen those before. I thought maybe you had one, or I saw that you had one.
Maybe a different set, but, you know, they're usually around $20.
And that's
30
complete.
bucks. It depends on, you know, if this was a little nicer, it'd be 30 bucks. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I've seen those complete. Like that was kind of the last year of really Jedi. They pushed so much stuff that last couple of years. They really tried. What do you think of those? What do you think of
Boba is cool, but he is missing absolutely everything.
What-
Oh, wait.
that? He's got the gun.
He's got his gun.
And from what I was reading is that the gun is actually worth about as much as Boba.
Probably, probably like this. I would say this is maybe $5-10.
Okay.
And then probably $5-10, maybe 15 for the gun. The Wookiee braids are a rare thing, and then the backpack assembly because it's a huge thing, and it's got.
Oh, did he have the whole jetpack in the?
Yep, and it's got a little missile that comes out, and there's a string that winds through it, so it can kind of do that. And then, of course, the eye. You can look through the eye.
No, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
they got some $6 million man stuff going
Yep.
on there.
Oh yeah, totally.
I see that.
And then
So did he have any kind of cloth on him, like his little short?
yeah, he's got just a
That cape,
little
right?
The little short
a
cape
little
that he-
short cape, and then I'm thinking he comes with even one or two other things, but I can't think of it.
He's like, it's a fashion statement.
He's
to all
not.
the
In,
bounty hunters.
he's not in bad shape. Was this mass produced or was this kind
Yeah.
of a
This is the
79.
12-inch
79?
Yeah.
This is the 12-inch line, the first 12-inch
They're the
line.
gentle giant.
I just
version
remember
and stuff.
everybody had either
no?
a Darth Vader or a Chewbacca of the 12-inch version.
Yep.
I had the Darth Vader.
Is that the
So-
gentle giant ones, or no?
I don't
No.
know.
Oh, okay.
General Giants.
Like the bigger ones?
Completely.
Oh, okay.
They used these sculpts and just
Oh,
made
made
them
it
the
bigger.
exact same.
Okay, gotcha.
Obi, yeah, you might be able to get like 30 or so. I think a belt and then his saber. The saber is the rare thing with him.
anything that kids could lose.
Yeah,
Right.
oh, yeah.
And the
Yeah.
saber's really weird. 'cause
Even if it's
like
12
that-
inches tall.
It's only like that big. They're
Oh.
really weird.
It's like Yoda's saber.
Yeah, and you see them, they're just weird. But like most of these were pretty common. The only really rare one, well, R2's pretty decent price. He's like 200 if he's complete, somewhere around there.
okay.
But then IG-88 is like
My boy.
$300-400 because he came with
Wow.
these grenades that everybody lost, and he was like a later release, so they didn't make him as much. But
That's kind of cool that they actually made an IG-88.
Yeah, he's gonna be in
considering
that new
Oh, yeah.
There
Mandalorian
was not
show.
much of an appearance of him at
Yeah.
all.
He's gonna be in the
Right.
new Mandalorian
You know, a
show.
lot
I'm
of
so
people
psyched.
didn't. He was like a flash by of just
Empire,
a
man.
wall of different bounty hunters, but he was just so
Yeah.
cool looking.
Same with Dengar and Bosk.
True. That's
and
very
then
true.
the Star World figure case.
Yeah.
So these things they sell for $10-20.
Okay.
People love them just because of the little kitsch of it. You got some figures,
He's got some figures in there.
and
How the eyes look on that Death Star droid.
They're,
Pretty good.
They're not
Okay.
bad.
That's the
Yeah.
big thing, like trying to
He's
find a
actually
decent
kinda
it's
tight,
piece
tough
too.
to get a complete mint one of these.
Yeah.
And basically, kind of rule of thumb is $5, $3 to $5 each, loose. And then some of the other ones, you know, Boba, of course, more. Luke's, of course, more. Anything like this or Stormtroopers go for more because
Oh, do
people
they?
have troop. Yep.
See, I
people
think
love
they would
troop
army
figures.
build so they wouldn't be as much.
No, people love them.
He's
That's
not.
why they're more,
he's
because
pretty
everybody
loose.
wants as many as they can get.
Yeah.
So, which Star Wars figure is that?
Fisher Price Adventure People.
Dang it! I tried to get the Grote.
But this goes to him, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the guns.
It's been a while. These came in just like a little accessory pack. This and the...
That doesn't. That looks like GI Joe.
Nope, that's Star Wars.
It is. It looks
Yeah.
like a.
I
Doesn't,
think it goes to somebody that's not here.
probably.
And weapons usually go to a few people.
Is that the backpack from the other from
Yep.
the return?
Because then you put Yoda
Oh, pimp. Very pimp.
and...
I'm making it look like this guy's working on the wires here.
Yeah, show the eyes on that one. That's actually in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I've been looking for like a mint one, but I don't want. If I had to buy it, probably mint on card.
But
if
like
I want to get a
Luke here,
decently painted one.
$20, even though it's missing a piece here.
But it still has part
Really?
of it, right?
Yep. Probably
So, okay.
$10-15 just for this Luke. That's Farm Boy Luke, and he's a good one.
Good old farm boy Luke.
She's
Ooh, there's a gun.
usually really popular.
The
Her
gun?
gun is worth $100+.
Really? What is that? For whom?
That goes to a couple people.
Probably Walrus Man.
Well, yeah, I think Walrus Man does.
Yeah.
I
think
really
he
want
had
to.
that
I
kinda
really want to
gun.
get the ice cream maker, dude.
Yeah. They got it.
That's a
set
pretty
up.
penny. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just display these like that.
I just found out from Lance today a tidbit of we were going through some of his stuff, and he
Yeah.
brought up, he's like, Geordie LaForge, and he's like, do you know how they came up with the name Geordie LaForge? And I was like, no. And I guess it was a fan that used to come to all the conventions that was in a wheelchair. And so when they made that series, it was like an homage to him. They named the guy Geordie LaForge.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Big, and the guy was just a big time fan, and
That's really
But yeah,
cool to
those
hear.
Star World cases were just generic. I think they came with little plastic, like bigger than Army Men, but kind of like that.
You know, I was kind of going down the rabbit hole on that, and some people say that the Star World came before.
Very well could have.
Like they kind of stole from that or that idea, the smaller figure, because it was practical and saved money.
Well, and
all
that's
that.
just it. They didn't. When Star Wars came out, they were not ready for it, so they didn't have. That's why most of the toys are 79 or 70.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and
I-
once people like kids got done watching it and wanting it on VHS, and like people thought it was just gonna be a flop. I think, right?
And
Or
that's
just a
it.
whatever movie.
Knockoffs are great. Even these days, you see, great knockoffs, and it's a business, and there's some cool stuff out there.
Rambo action figures had a lot of knockoffs and a lot from the 80s and 90s, and a lot of those are worth a lot of money now.
Yeah.
A lot of those.
Well, one thing about Star Wars too, you got to remember it's like Laserdisc and stuff was hitting, and you could actually watch the movies at home.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like At the time, for the movies that were out, I mean, every kid was having a birthday party. You would rent a Laserdisc player. You could get it for like $100 and 3 movies for like 3 days.
Yeah, I used to have a Laserdisc. I'm not going to say anything.
I see Laserdisc all the time thrifting. I'm like, and people collect them.
Apparently they won the technology war. I don't get that. What do you want to do next?
Let's check out these Lost in Space robots.
Oh, okay. Well, Brandon, settle down.
Will Robinson.
These are from 1998.
Those are from 98, really?
Trendmaster.
This was like when the movie came out, right? And everyone started remembering the old show.
Yep.
What a terrible movie that was.
Hey, Matthew LeBlanc had that cool helmet.
And it's a weird toy company who makes it too, but they've actually got a pretty big following.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's it called? What's the company?
Trendmaster.
Trendmasters.
Oh, okay.
They do a lot of random sci-fi toys.
You would think that there might be some kind of a cheaper licensing for that, too.
Right.
With Lost in Space.
And I think most Trendmaster stuff has some kind of light-up feature or talking, so, I think that's kind of part of their thing.
This one, unfortunately, I don't know. The batteries might be fused, or they might just be dead. Maybe it would magically work because
it might not like you,
right? But it didn't.
It doesn't like Mark.
It doesn't like Chad. Danger, Chad Robinson.
Ooh, it comes with a gun.
Yeah, I just those robot. That robot.
Can I see that for a second?
Why does the robot have a gun? Did the robot have a gun?
I don't know.
It's a little magic note from the robot.
Bought it at Schindler's.
This is from the future. Something exciting is gonna happen.
Danger, Chad Robinson.
Get that burning sensation checked out.
I'm a little fascinated that it has a gun. I don't remember him ever having a gun.
Wasn't in the movie the robot was kind of like did some dirty stuff to them, like betrayed them or something?
I don't remember.
I think the doctor hacked it.
He like hacked the robot and made him do some dirt. This is what robots looked like.
Right?
I mean, compared to what they look like now, they look identical to us or Ultron.
Well, technically,
in the
I would
Marvel
say
world, they all look like alien-like.
Wouldn't you say that Robbie the robot was kind of the whorish type of robot? He was. How many movies was he in?
Oh, he was in all that stuff.
He was just.
He looked like a Gillette shaver.
He was the first sellout robot.
Yeah.
He sold out. Just started making that brink.
Yeah.
He got hooked on the money.
Whoever designed him must have been getting paid for his appearances.
Oh, I bet.
If he was at a con these days, he'd be charging for selfies.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the robot from Rocky 3 when they got Paulie the robot, and that robot was making the rounds?
Yeah.
And then Johnny 5 was alive.
Oh, I used to love Johnny
Remember the robot from Blank Man?
Yeah.
J5.
Yes.
J5.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
J5.
Yes, I do remember. Forgot all
So I
about
guess
Blank.
It was a washing machine. That was the best.
Mark was pretty excited with these.
All right, these are my. This is
These
what I
are
picked up New
Brandon's.
Comic Book Day. The True Believers reprint of like old Hulk issues. I don't know why it's called Hulk Head of Banner, but I think maybe that was the name of the storyline. But this is like an Incredible Hulk, like early top 10 issue. I think.
I have a funny story about this comic.
We'll be the judge of that.
Because I went to comic book college to get some comics myself. You know, I'm going to show mine on the next episode.
Yeah, tune in, guys.
There was a guy that was like, I'm kind of bummed to see this comic for sale for $1 because I spent like $500 on the original issue.
Sucker. That's why you gotta.
You know,
like,
and he was like, but to complete a collection, and I was like, well, yeah, but like, okay, this guy is like 70. 68, 70 years old. I was like, what are you saving them for? I just asked him. I was like, I'm 47 and I'm selling a lot of my stuff, and like, just think, man, you're probably sitting on like thousands of dollars in comics, but because he's a completist, he wants to hold on to them.
That's a hard thing to answer.
I was like, you could get this comic and sell that one, and you'd be sitting pretty.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the next one is called the Intelligent Hulk.
Oh.
And it has a Wendigo and Sasquatch.
And
on the cover.
Sasquatch, which Sasquatch does not die in this. Does he die?
No.
Okay.
He only dies when
you never know.
Yeah, they only die when they're together. If they're separate, they live.
That shadow almost makes it look like he's got Wolverine
Wolverine
stripes.
bleed.
Yeah.
Yes. True Believers #1. That's kind of interesting. I didn't see
And they
those
reprinted like the first appearance of Deadpool, like first Cable, stuff like that, and like like first Wolverine.
It's a money grab.
Yeah, and the same thing they're doing. DC's doing it though. Like these are like instead of spending $400 or $500 on this original issue, just get this for $1
Yeah.
or $3.99. Sorry.
Yeah, this one was $3.99.
It's funny how like Marvel or DC will follow suit. Like
Yeah.
even with like the
They copy each other
cover
so much.
Yeah, and
the action figure covers. Like
Yeah.
right when Marvel started doing it, DC did too.
yeah. And that's another like I think I have the original issue, but I just like the cover with the new Ruby Rose Batwoman.
This is
on it.
pretty cool. I
Yeah.
was almost going to pick this up.
So
too.
like, is that new or is that a?
It's a reprint.
Okay, and when did that come out?
I think it came out this week.
No, the original.
Oh, the original one?
90s, 2000?
No, like 2000s. Like
Okay.
2007, 2008.
So
Because
they
it was
were-
during the 50. Like her first appearance was in the 52 event, and I remember that started. So maybe early, like
Okay.
2006.
So they really are
Yeah.
doing a
2000. That's a reprint. I'm
very
never gonna
line.
I'm never gonna want to spend the money on an actual first appearance of Swamp Thing, but
It is Swamp
they
Thing.
redid
isn't
it. Yeah.
Wow.
Brandon
Is that
loves
supposed to be
Swamp Thing.
Adrian
Do
Barbeau?
Swamp Thing. I guess so.
Swamp
In
Thing's
the
like.
movie,
Oh, okay.
Adrian Barbeau was.
What is your infatuation with the thing of the swamp?
I don't
Adrian
know. I just
Barbeau
like it
was
because
my
it's connected to John
fascination.
Constantine.
Right?
Yes.
I love John Constantine. So
Before we get to this, I just wanted to show some of the back covers because I mean, look at that's like a throwback.
yeah,
Oh,
You
they
know
did
what I
that,
mean?
huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can I look through one of those?
Like I just was.
and it looks like the,
I mean,
like
we
the
went through
pages
them
look
kind
like
of
the
fast,
original.
but let's just look at the back. Like here's the,
The
Joker
Joker.
cover for the movie. You know, because not comics have changed. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot. Well, I mean, this looks old school, but
That's cool.
that's really cool.
You know, I was talking to my brother
That
not too
doesn't-
long ago, and I was like, it's weird. My nephews are like teenagers, and they don't really have anything up in their room. They don't have posters. You know, when I was a teenager, I just out of comics, I'd put them up, out of skate, and I was just like, they don't really do magazines anymore, so they don't
Yeah.
do that.
That's
you
sad.
know? It just, yeah.
That's, and that's kind of how I got my nephew kind of hooked on comics is
Yeah.
I gave him one stack.
Yeah. Spawn 300.
Nope. I gave him
No.
one stack of Marvel.
That-
Oh, hold on, real quick. I gave him one stack of Marvel Universe so he could read about all the different characters and then let him kind of
Yeah,
figure out which ones he liked. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
and then he got hooked.
Now you got hooked.
All right,
wow.
This is Spawn 300. I had gotten another cover, but this variant caught my eye because it's like all the spawns throughout time coming together.
That is cool.
And it's the Virgin cover, so without the Spawn title on it, so those
Oh,
tend
yeah.
to be a little bit more valuable.
That's nice. I like that cover a
Yeah.
lot.
And last week, you remember Mark brought in a bunch of Marvel 1000, and I didn't bring the other one I got, but I got this cool variant with all the George Perez hidden gem cover, and it I think it's like 1 of 1,000, 1 in 1,000. So you get 1 in every
Very
1,000.
jelly.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's really nice artwork.
I'm getting this. This is like this for me. This was comics for me growing up because this was like
Yeah.
when I was getting Avengers comics, and it was just
Yeah.
like
So stop by the source this
art-
weekend.
I'm getting this.
And
Yeah,
you
like,
paid $21,000 for that?
No, 20,000. I mean $20.
$20,000.
I,
No,
knew
but I'm
I knew I'd get him.
Yeah.
Check out the Beast. I always love that.
Yeah.
Look at he's hanging upside down
Oh
reading.
yeah.
You know.
But yeah, I missed the Ditko cover where it's like they did a homage to Steve Ditko with Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Hulk, and I missed on that one. And I was like, oh, it'll be. I last week I was like, oh, it'll be there next week because it was like no one's going to spend $20 on it,
Right.
and they didn't. But they had like 4 of those copies. So if you go tomorrow, try to grab one.
Cool. Where are we at, B?
23 minutes.
Cool.
Good.
Swap. When?
September 15th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
How many
Bloomington
tables?
Knights of Columbus.
Posse.
70 tables. 2 tables held by this guy. Every
Mr.
single
Grote.
swap.
Yeah.
2 tables by me.
And run up to Mr. Grote and take a selfie with him, and he will make the funniest face you've ever seen. Or if you're
and-
me, he'll just act like he's punching you.
He's
Yeah.
gonna have some really cool stuff.
Yeah,
too.
buy something and he'll give you one of those cool little hang-up things with posters
He
for the
might-
Avengers.
He might have some.
Oh
stuff.
yes.
Save me
Detective Pikachu.
from
Yes.
Mr. Grote. Save me from
All right,
Mr. Grote.
everybody.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace.